3, 2, 1. Because you were home. That's a quote from Funny Games, starring Liv Tyler. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. This is Sardonicast.
Wow, that was cool. I like that.
Thanks.
I dig that. I'm Alex from IHG. I'm going to go with you think they stand a chance?
Yeah.
Nice. That's good. Very short, very brief ones. All right, I'm Jake, man carrying thing, and I'm going to go with oh shit, oh fuck, I drop eggs. Oh shit, oh fuck, I keep dropping eggs. What? Oh fuck.
Why can't I hold all these eggs?
Yeah. I thought the movie was just about a fucking idiot who doesn't know how to hold eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, it kind of is.
It's one of the themes. Yeah. Eggs.
Maybe they were normal until he dropped the eggs, then something snapped.
Yeah, something snapped for sure. I gotta say, I'm loving how I'm not the only one doing movie quotes anymore. Now we're all kind of just doing it. We all get to...
Yeah, that just kind of organically happens.
Nice. Yeah.
I actually felt extreme peer pressure, so it wasn't organic to me.
Yeah.
Good. This is a good example of peer pressure.
Exactly. Yeah, forcing. If there's one thing I've learned in my life, it's that you want to live your life based out of fear of what other people think of you. You want to conform to what others are doing around you because you don't want to stick out. It's scary.
That's good advice. That is good advice. That's profound.
Yeah. I call it being society cucked, and that's the best way to live it.
Your tone makes it sound like you mean the opposite, though. It's a very sardonic tone, if I might say so myself, as if you don't really believe what you're saying.
Oh, interesting.
Oh. I consider it to be more sarcastic.
Okay. Well, this isn't the sarcastic cast, is it?
Well, yeah, but you can't spell Sardonicast without sarcast.
I think we should do a spin-off of Sardonicast just called Sarcasticast, and it's just the same episodes, but we're slightly happier because we've all had a couple of beers.
Yeah. Okay. Sarcastic done. We could call it.
Sarcastic. That sounds like a dinosaur.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Now you won me over.
Announcement. Ding, 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 ding.
Ooh.
Episode 200 is coming up. And Alex and Jake are going to visit me, and we're going to do a live stream for episode 200.
A boot's time.
You didn't get the memo?
Well, that's news to me, but I'll figure out a way. I'll take a bus up there or something. You know?
Yeah, figure it out, okay? Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to do a live stream. We did one for episode 100 as well, so figured we'd continue the tradition. There will be, a live Q&A, a live talking about the movies or whatever. And I think we're going to have the recommendations be another audience poll like we did last time. So if anybody wants to participate in said poll, sign up on the Patreon, okay? Because I think the way we did it last year is we had it like connected through the Discord or something. I think you get the Discord roles through Patreon. If there's any issues leading up to this, we got a little bit of time. We got a couple months. Let me know. Make a post on the subreddit or something if we need to work out some kinks or the logistics or anything.
What did they recommend last time? What did they make you watch last time? Was it like a serious movie or something to...
SpongeBob, the SpongeBob movie, and Possession, right?
Yeah. We got SpongeBob movie and Possession, and I loved Possession. So we got something good out of...
I love both.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got something good out of
good.
The recommendations. Like we can veto anything also. If they want to recommend us like a 12-hour something, we can just be like, no.
Yeah. That's a good thing about being on the Patreon. You can stop the brigading of some meme thing. Also, choose something extra esoteric because I'm going to be so jet lagged. Should be interesting.
Just show up early enough.
It's funny because it feels like I'm doing like a victory lap when I've done like 10 episodes. It's like, yeah, man, those 200 episodes that I did. Yeah, whoo.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
It's celebrating Jake's 200th episode.
Yep.
Nice one, man.
Well, you were here in spirit for the other ones.
I was watching you. Well, I was watching you all just creepily through the screen.
Voyeurism.
Carrying in the background.
Yeah.
You were learning.
I was learning. I was evolving my critical taste to become the perfect third chair of Sardonicast.
You were studying the blade.
I was, while you guys were, what is that? How does that phrase go? While you guys were hanging out with attractive women, I was.
I don't know what the phrase is. What is this? What are you even quoting?
Sounds like a good phrase.
That's that meme. It's like, while you were partying, I was studying the blade. Or something like that.
Well, you were out
drinking,
eating hot chip, and lying.
Mm-hmm.
I was being a Chad.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of Blade, who is a character in the Marvel franchise, you guys saw a Marvel movie.
That was a good transition.
Yeah, it was the best one, I think.
That was okay.
I think it was the best one.
That was like a long pause, and then Blade.
Yes.
That's Marvel.
Yeah. We recognize Blade in this household. Yeah, you guys saw it. I didn't. Who gives a shit?
We saw Fan Four Stick.
Yeah.
We all give a shit, actually. We're all Marvel fans here, and it's time for the new Marvel review. I heard it's wicked.
What voice was that supposed to be? What was that?
Just my guy. Just my new character. I'm testing him out.
Okay, cool. I like him. Should use him more.
First question. Was I incorrect for not seeing this movie?
Yeah, because you should see every movie.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I should just not have time for anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you get much out of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually... Here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand, is that time exists.
No, it doesn't.
Okay? You got to decide what to do with your time.
It's a currency.
I'm halfway through a 4-hour-long part 1 film called Castration Movie, and I'm really enjoying it. Castration Movie Part 1 Traps. This is not a joke. You can buy the film on the internet. It's a weird movie about transness and 4chan culture, and it's filmed like it's a fucking Dogma 95. It's like Julian Donkey Boy. It's like early Harmony Korine, but it's really interesting.
Wow.
I've actually heard of this, yeah.
That's the most Adam sentence I've ever heard. That's amazing.
Yeah, so don't tell me I need to see fucking Fantastic 4 when there's much more interesting things to watch. Okay? You uncultured swine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm better than you.
Yeah, keep going.
Hi, my name's Anna Kasparian.
We need more engagement for the subreddit, so just say something else, like...
Normies. Oh,
yeah.
Bring up
good.
normies. That's the good one. That's the golden.
When in
the
doubt,
golden child.
say the N-word. That's been my motto.
Damn, yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, normie.
Yes,
right.
yes.
All right, took me off guard there.
Wait, there's another one?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Nostalgia.
Okay. Yeah, you guys talk about this. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of anticipating this. Like, I enjoyed the episode we did a few episodes back now. We did was it 3 existing?
4.
Well, I guess it's now 4.
Yeah.
4 Fantastic Fours. And a lot of the issues that we're bringing up consistently with those early 2000s movies, I feel like we're kind of addressed in this one. The biggest ones being like, there are 4 characters that you have to kind of like in some way. So we'll characterize or give some angle to make them interesting. And I feel like at a base level, it achieved that. There's a bunch I could get into as far as like, you know, character arcs but it really feels like they've just gone back to basics, you know? Like there's no baggage as far as, did you see season 3 of Blibbity Bloop and the phase 2 part 5 thingy? So you can understand this? It's like, no, it's just the Fantastic Four. It's like a different universe, different timeline. Just setting it up. I kind of felt that in the movie where it's like almost like a fear. Like apparently a bunch of stuff had been taken out of it. Like John Malkovich was supposed to be included in some way, and it's weirdly short too. Like it's strange for these to be under 2 hours. It's one of the rare times I actually feel like I could have done with like 20 more minutes of this, especially so I could have more The Thing, or maybe have like a character arc. It just keeps it simple, stupid. It was decent. It was probably like a bit below Thunderbolts, but also like I can't help but feel like it's been a little bit kneecapped by Superman with like the overlap of this kind of 60s encoded characters, you know, and like the campy stuff and the more kind of hopeful tone and that kind of thing. But I thought it was okay. What about your top level stuff?
Yeah, you are not selling it for me. I'm so happy I didn't see this.
You know, I'm pretty much with you on a lot of that. Like it's a sweaty movie. Like you feel everyone's sweating.
It's sweaty as fuck. Yeah.
Everyone's like, okay, well, what did people say on Reddit about we have like all these failed Fantastic Four movies, so let's do something that's going to be just right. We're going to do like a super cool throwback, be really faithful to the look and feel of Fantastic Four. We're going to focus on their dynamic as characters. They're going to be like really fun and inoffensive, but also it's got to be under 2 hours because people hate that now, and we can't really have a bunch of connections to like the wider universe because people think that's annoying. So, I mean, this is just my issue right now, is that Marvel feels kind of directionless right now, and that they're kind of going off of what are the vibes, what's the backlash, what can we do to make you guys happy? You know, we just want you to like us.
Let's check Reddit. The ultimate test audience.
Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of maybe why I was slightly disappointed watching Fantastic Four. I didn't hate it. It definitely had a lot of good qualities that I really enjoyed. I mean, the set design, the costumes, just the little gadgets and the wonderful little... I mean, it's just like a fun, tactile world. It feels more real than most Marvel movies. I'd say it's the best Fantastic Four movie that exists.
Oh, easily.
Well, except maybe the one in the 90s. That was fun in a different way. But yeah, it just it works. The characters don't really have any character arcs, and they're very flat, and it feels very like a comic book issue that doesn't really that's just kind of like a fun self-contained story, but also while it's trying to be fun and like having this look and feel of like, yeah, we're like doing like a 60s throwback and this is fun and these characters are just like a family. It is so stressful. Like it's a very oppressive feeling movie. Like, I don't know, like my theater was pretty full, but nobody was laughing at any of the jokes because...
Yeah, same. I thought that was just the Brits.
Yeah, everything just felt so heavy because it's like another Earth-destroying situation. The stakes are super high, and also I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's a baby at stake, and you know me. I love when babies are in peril in movies. You know, it doesn't definitely doesn't strike any like animal instincts within me about my own child. So it doesn't help. I saw this after getting only 2 hours of sleep, and I was just like, I felt very manipulated. Personally, I felt like, okay, on an intellectual level, I'm watching this going, where are the characters aren't very deep, the story isn't working very well, but I need this baby to survive. Like you're like dangling a baby in peril, like for 90% of the movie. I'm going to have a gut feeling. Like it was very stressful. It was like watching Uncut Gems, and I'm like, what? I don't know if you felt that way, Alex, but I was like, this is stressful. This isn't very fun. And by the end of it, it was just kind of like, what was the point? Like that was a lot.
Yeah. When you say what is the point, I was kind of thinking like, I was expecting more of this movie to be like a platform or a link to whatever this Robert Downey Jr.'s Avengers thing was going to be. I really thought they were going to use it more like that, but it really doesn't go that direction. It's actually quite self-contained, and the only link is in like an end credits thing after a time skip. So it's like, oh, okay, this really is just kind of setting this stuff up. Yeah, but what you're saying about the baby, I actually thought one of the better scenes in the movie was not only like the surprising lack of action, but there's like a set piece involving the baby, like maybe around the halfway point. That was like, this. I really like this angle for these characters, you know?
No,
like,
I actually liked that too. Like the middle section of the movie, that's very, we're not doing spoilers. I assume, but where, just the space stuff.
You can. I don't care.
No, Adam doesn't want it spoiled. We got it.
I don't mind at all.
Well, I'm thinking about our viewers. I don't know.
Maybe we could, in a few minutes, transition into a spoiler stuff.
I mean, just say when you have the spoiler section and then spoil what you want, and they can skip it. We got timestamps.
Okay, yeah. Well, I won't spoil anything yet then. But yeah, there are some great set pieces that are like Interstellar inspired, very kind of visually fun and exciting that I really liked. So it worked on me on like a gut level, but at the end of it, I just kept thinking like, oh, that was a plot contrivance that was not done very well. And at the end of the day, it doesn't feel, unlike Superman, which felt, with all its flaws, like a James Gunn movie, like he basically had say over what it was. This felt very much like Matt Shakman is not really an established film director on the same level, and I imagine he didn't have the same control over this film, and it feels that way. It feels like a lot was cut out of it, and I guess that's the reporting, I guess. Have you seen that? That a bunch of stuff was cut?
Yeah, that's what I was referencing with the
John Malkovich
stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I personally could have done with it being a bit longer so you could actually do something with some of these characters, because they'll sprinkle things in that seem to imply that maybe there was an arc or a direction, like keep going back to The Thing, but because that was like my favorite character, I think, but he has like this love interest and it doesn't really go anywhere or do anything. It's like, what is it?
Not just a love interest, but Natasha Lyonne, who's like a big, big actress. So it's like, what was the point of that?
Was it he like sowing seeds for something? Like, or is that just a symptom of all these cuts and stuff like that? Like, yeah, it is sweaty. But I got to say, one of the ongoing things with our other Fantastic Four kind of critiques was the stretching stuff and how freaky that would be. And it did seem like they were hiding it in the trailers because maybe they weren't that confident. But I was kind of won over by the stretching. I thought it was like fine. I thought it was fun. I didn't mind
it. He wasn't like liquefying himself under doorways or anything.
I wasn't getting scared. I feel like that's a big one. There were one or two scary little moments with it because it's just inherently kind of weird. But the cartoony kind of campiness of it wasn't as freaky as it has been in the past. Even though there is like a kind of a body horror thing with the stretching in the movie that was like, wow, that's actually kind of disturbing. I kind of dig that.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird, like, I feel like it's a tonally odd movie because it is trying to have, and I was kind of hoping it was setting up some kind of commentary on this, like thematically of like, we're doing a retro 60s world where everything is perfect and there's like sci-fi and the world seems to work in harmony. Mostly the Fantastic Four are like benevolent gods of this world. And I thought maybe we'll do some commentary on that when, can I say spoilers or can we get into spoilers?
Should we just go into spoilers?
Do it.
I feel like part of like the Marvel issue right now is that it seems like they're kind of only really making their films for Marvel fans. It feels like a lot of the like broader thing that they used to be able to tap into isn't there anymore. So it seems like most people just kind of go out and see it when it's in that first, maybe second weekend, and then they seem to drop off a lot more than they used to. So yeah, I think we can go into spoilers.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought there was going to be some kind of thematic payoff or setup with this like retro sci-fi 60s world and maybe show like a darker underbelly once the Fantastic Four reveal very stupidly that Galactus is willing to take their child and spare the Earth. So Galactus is like, I need to eat these planets and your planet is next, unless you give me your child, your unborn child, who is like a god, apparently, or who's going to become a god. So do that, we can spare the Earth. And they, of course, have this big fight scene that we talked about being really pretty good, like a chase sequence with the Silver Surfer who works for Galactus. And they finally come back home and there's a press conference and Reed Richards just straight up tells the Earth, like, Galactus said that if we give him our kid, then he'll spare you all, but we're not going to do that.
That's funny.
That was kind of dumb.
And everyone is mad at them, as you'd expect.
Is that the baby that is going to die, maybe?
That is the baby, and there is a very stressful childbirth sequence in space.
Nice. Oh, cool.
Where Sue Storm gives birth to what looks like like a 7-month-old baby, but
an adult baby.
Funny CG as well.
You can't. Yeah, very weird CG baby effects. Very Twilight coded in certain moments.
That's unfortunate.
It was very uncanny.
But fun set piece though. It's like a 0G birth while in a chase scene.
Yeah.
Which was really fun to me.
It stood out. Yeah, it was like
I dig that.
Pretty thrilling. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so I thought, okay, the world is mad at them because they're refusing to buy into Galactus's deal. And there's like protests and everything. And I thought, oh, maybe this is going to like change up the dynamic of how the Fantastic Four deals with like society and like what is their responsibility to society and everything. But then Sue Storm goes out there with her baby in front of this angry mob and delivers a very brief, heartfelt speech about being good. And then they all start cheering and they just decide to build a giant teleportation machine on Earth to move Earth to another part of the universe where Galactus won't be able to find them.
That sounds like that could have unintended consequences that I think scientists might be against it.
My first thought was, what about the moon?
Yeah.
I was like, we're not moving the moon as well? Won't that like kill a lot of people?
The tides.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was kind of fun. Like as soon as that conflict kind of came in with Galactus being like, I want your baby.
Yeah.
Your baby's mine or we eat you. And this kind of trolley problem situation was like, this is kind of a fun idea for these characters to go through to like try and solve. And yeah, the Sue Storm way of resolving it was a little bit convenient and quick, I guess, just so they could get to the teleportation stuff. But speaking of Sue Storm, actually, she was one of the bigger issues with the previous movies as far as like they just didn't know what to do with her. But I feel like Vanessa Kirby actually did a good job. They made her likable and have like a good dynamic in there. So yeah, I like that they did this kind of reminds me of what Adam was saying about Superman with the bare minimum being praised at a certain point. But they felt like distinct characters and like they all had something to do, even if as far as a deeper thematic meaning is pretty surface level. It's like family, love, like The Incredibles has like a deeper it's like a way deeper story, and that's like a way more aimed at kids and it's still the best like Fantastic Four movie if we're including it as a technicality.
I think The Incredibles was the worst thing to ever happen to the Fantastic Four franchise.
Probably they can never ever live up to it.
Watch this, nerd.
Yeah. Speaking of The Incredibles, though, Michael Giacchino did the music for The Incredibles coming in here.
Nice.
I feel like Marvel's had this ongoing issue where they don't really have themes outside of the Avengers theme. They got so many characters that seems like a basic, like, let's have leitmotifs in here. Let's give these characters themes. And this feels like one of the first groups outside of the Avengers that they've actually done it for. I really like the music here. It really complemented it nicely. You want to like say every time it starts doing it. It's cool. Yeah, I really dug
the
that.
music was fantastic. So good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So hopefully they keep that up.
Good word.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like it felt like to me like a delicious candy bar that just doesn't have any nutritional value. Like, that's like
empty calories. Yeah.
Like the first 30 minutes, I was vibrating. I was just so happy. I was like, oh, this looks amazing. These characters, I enjoy these characters. I have a connection to the Fantastic Four. And I thought that it was depicted very well. And then as the story goes on, I went, oh, we're just kind of doing like a plot. It felt very plot focused instead of like diving into these characters. There's some exploration of Reed's character, and I do like how we see him like struggle with being more human and how to deal with that. But I feel like what it felt like to me was there were lots of different passes on the script from different writers setting up different things, and none of them really get paid off satisfyingly. So like in the first act, we see Reed being stretched thin because he's stressed about protecting his family and the baby. And also we see him feeling guilt because he got everyone in danger when they were last in space. And he's also being kind of like a shitty family member because he's blowing Johnny off every time Johnny wants something from him. And so we're setting up these things, and I thought, okay, maybe we'll get some kind of like lesson that he comes to or he learns where it's like, his family's there to support him just as much as he is there. Like, he doesn't have to be the only one stressed about protecting everyone, and something like that. Even just something simple and basic. I mean, but the movie doesn't really follow through on that, or at least it doesn't do it in a way that is like really clear. Like, you could read into things, but it's not like a good setup or payoff, in my opinion. Like, it kind of ends with just a big Galactus fight, and then the movie wraps up, and maybe somewhere in those missing 20 minutes there's like extra depth, but it felt very much like, all right, we're done, bye see you in Doomsday.
Because I agree. I think I'm just feeling like the first half of it was a lot stronger and more interesting to me, because I guess it was slightly more character focused. I agree. The stuff with Reed being anxious about becoming a dad, and like his super logic brain, the way that would clash with being a parent, where obviously like can't always use that to solve every issue, and the way he clashes with Sue was kind of intriguing, and there's more they could have done with that, or just giving it some arc. We keep going back to that, but it's so true. It does evolve at a certain point with the Galactus stuff, who I like the casting of, by the way, Ralph Ineson. Really good voice. I like that they kind of scanned his face. He's got that booming voice, but again, he doesn't have much of a personality. He's just kind of, big planet guy that eats whatever. And stomps around a city.
Actually, they give the Silver Surfer probably the biggest character arc, and it's very, like, kind of cheaply done.
True. And that's quite rushed too.
Yeah, very rushed.
Yeah. It's still like an improvement on the last time they did the Silver Surfer story.
It's all an improvement. It really
not
is.
That that's saying too much. Yeah, I thought they did the scale decently well. I always find it funny, like reading the trivia and whatnot for these movies, where it's like, Matt Shackman was inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey for the visual effects, and it's like, what? Okay, like I like the production design, I guess, but I don't really see that kind of inspiration in there. It still has the kind of sheen of a Marvel movie. And with like Galactus, he's got like the Force, I guess. I didn't really understand like his like nerdy power level type stuff, and it does kind of devolve into him stomping around a city, then being like pushed into a portal.
Yes. I mean, and also like we're looking at like character arcs and development. Like, if there was going to be some kind of payoff for them, it should be demonstrated in their actions, especially in the final fight. Like, there are things that, if they had set it up well, it'd be a lot more impactful. Like, there's a moment where, like, the only moment that the Thing, Ben Grimm, gets at all is just saying it's clobbering time at the end. It's like,
that felt really flat to me, like as a setup or a payoff. Like, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? I prefer if he just didn't say it in this movie. Like, save it for like 58 movies time or something.
That would be. I mean, if you're setting up something, like, do something about it. But it just felt like, all right, that's kind of like a little bit of a fan thing. And then Johnny is like, he's going to sacrifice himself for the baby, but he's just kind of like a good guy the whole time. He doesn't really, like, he has kind of a relationship developing with Silver Surfer, but that felt mostly for plot reasons. Like, he translates her language, but for some reason he can't tell Reed about it or anyone else, So it's like it just felt like, what is this doing to serve his character beyond just serving the plot? If that's what I felt like a lot of the movie. Like, okay, this feels like we're just trying to move the plot along, and we're doing things with these characters that just don't really mean as much than they do.
Yeah, or just give them something to do literally outside of what it could mean, like about them as characters, or say about them. I did like that it skipped over the origin story, though. I really liked that opening montage, like kind of setting that campy tone, like kicking orangutans and Mole Man and like the dumbest stuff.
Well, that was my favorite moments. Was all of the montages was just like the fun stuff, and it's like, why can't we have more of that as the movie instead of this dour, like, oh my God, we might have to kill our baby, and like, I didn't think about killing our baby. Yes, you did think about killing our baby. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's really dark. Yeah, like especially against that Jetsons kind of retro future thing, it is funny how it's immediately gone that dark. But I guess that is sort of just what I'm saying about this Marvel problem, where maybe ideally this would have been like the second Fantastic Four movie, and there would have been like a first campy, just montagey, hey, it's Mole Man and the orangutan dude and John Malkovich, whatever he was going to be. And I don't know if audiences want that. I don't think they even know what the audience wants at this point, especially with like the tease at the end where the big new bad, I guess, Doctor Doom, you see the back of his head, I guess. You see the back of his hood, and he's holding the mask.
Yeah.
4 years later, time jump. It's like, oh, it's not really that exciting to me, but
we do see him missing at the United Nations of, like, what is it, Latveria? What is his country that he rules?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Latveria.
We see him missing, and that's kind of it. But I think what I felt after seeing that tease was like, oh, they really don't know what they're going to be doing for Doomsday. And there's reports out that they're still writing the end of the movie. It's been in production for what?
It's shooting like right now.
And set to come out next December or something like that. Anyways, it did feel kind of like, oh, right. Why was I enjoying this first half of the movie? I remembered it's a Marvel movie and they aren't allowed to do anything like real in any of these stories unless it's an Avengers movie. So it just felt like, okay, let's do a solid story, get these characters to the end, and just so that we can have them for Doomsday, and then we'll figure out what we do with them in Doomsday. And that feels like all of these last couple of phases of all of these movies. Like, all right, we just have these characters that we can use, and then we'll go nuts for Doomsday, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know, part of me almost was hoping that if they had more cojones, they could have been like, they'd lose to Galactus, and that's how they get to like another dimension, because that's like the tease at the end of Thunderbolts, right? If that counts as like a spoiler. So it's like, oh, I guess we still don't know how they're getting there, or what that means. I thought maybe that the Latveria tease at the beginning was maybe going to come back when they were building all those portals, that like it was that part of the world that, and Doom like sabotaging it, that stopped them from being able to do it, instead of Silver Surfer coming, just destroying it. I don't know, they could have done something. It's just like so simple, and just felt like, we can't have like a bad ending for this. It has to exist on its own. They really are quite in a bind, I feel, with like how far they've been doing this, how long they've been doing it, and how many misses they've had. So yeah, they are so trepidatious. they can't afford like another Eternals or whatever, Thor. Or, man, I don't know what they're expecting from it. I think it's doing okay, but they did play it safe. That's for damn sure.
If they did this, if they made this movie with the same confidence they had, it was when they made like Captain Marvel, between Infinity War and Endgame. Like if they made it around that era, I think it would be 2 hours, 45 minutes. Maybe it would be shitty, but it'd be shitty in a different way of like, let's try some crazy stuff. Whereas this feels like, please like us, please, please, please. And, I mean, it's a pretty decent movie. I would put it, I'd say I enjoyed it about the same as I enjoyed Thunderbolts, but I think Thunderbolts has a better screenplay. Like the characters,
I think it definitely does,
have much more thorough arcs, and it has like something to say. But I love the Fantastic Four, and I love the 60s vibes. So I did, despite everything, enjoy this. I actually want to thank our viewers for recommending in like the comments on here in Reddit of Fantastic Four comics since we did that last episode, because I'm reading I'm reading some Fantastic Four comics, and I feel like that's helping me understand the characters better and kind of see where they went wrong with this in some ways, and where I'm reading Fantastic Four Solve Everything, I think. Yeah, Jonathan Hickman. So fun stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's I'm in a similar place to you. I feel like it's unusual for me to actually want a longer runtime for one of these movies, or feel like, I want to see these guys again. Like I like all of them. There wasn't like a weak link. They were all interesting, charismatic. Just need more thing, man. I like the look of him. I like all the different outfits and the beard thing where they've all got to like optimistically share power, so he can't like shave, and just like silliness. The campier it was, the more I kind of enjoyed it. Yeah, kind of with you. But like the more serious it got, the more. But I guess that's kind of like where they're going. I think that is what they're pulling from for the is it the Secret Wars, whatever they're inspired by, which is all about like the baby like being kidnapped or something.
Yeah,
because I guess this baby's like the most powerful being in all of Marvel or something. I don't really know the details, but
I just know that the last movie right before Infinity War was what, Thor Ragnarok, and that was like, we have an idea of Thanos as being a big threat. There's like lots of teasing it, and like we've built up. Like this is just, there's some, like if you aren't familiar with the comics, it's like who is the bad guy? Who are we going to be facing? Like what is this even going to be about? Who is Victor Von Doom? With he isn't even named. He literally just appears, in the teaser. So they have a lot. They have a lot to cover if this next movie is going to be successful. And I don't know if they're going to pull it off.
Yeah, I really wonder if them losing James Gunn the way they did has like done more damage than they're anticipating. Because like Thanos was like established in like Guardians of the Galaxy, the whole stone thing.
Yeah,
his like characterization of the first two movies before going into like Endgame and Infinity War, and how much he added to that was like, you can't underestimate that. But he's gone now, so they don't really have someone to fill that gap.
No, he contributed a ton, to that world and building the universe. Yeah, so, we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of it's interesting, just like this. It does feel like the hero, comic movie genre, it is kind of waning a little bit, because even though Superman's doing well, Fantastic Four seems to be doing well, it's not like making $1 billion, in 1 weekend. We're not in that era anymore.
It's not Aquaman 2018.
Yeah. It's just a different world. So who knows if, maybe that's the way to be doing it, is making cheaper movies and
most definitely.
I don't know. It'll be odd, but it's going to be different, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like the zeitgeist around Superman is still way stronger than this one. This just feels kind of like, it's like another Marvel. If you like Fantastic Four, you'll like it. But I feel like the Superman stuff has got like all the meme culture stuff. That monkey gif is everywhere. People saying that the Lex gifs are everywhere. It feels like it's more like culturally relevant.
It does, yeah.
Maybe that's just the cycle. Like Marvel's good for a while, then DC's good for a while. Kind of just like in all the other media that they infect. So yeah, I don't know if you want to do ratings. I don't know if I have much more to say about it. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. Doesn't reinvent the wheel in any way. Just kind of establishes basics. I'd like to see these characters again. Give me more Thing. Love that character. This would be like just a fine 3-star, 6 out of 10 with a like. Get a like though.
Nice. Yeah, I'd give it 6 out of 10 as well. So, yeah, more Thing. We like the Thing. The thing is, we love the Thing. That'd be nice. Yeah, but not bad at all. I'll ask you, Adam. Now that you've heard the story of Fantastic Four and you've heard us discuss it, are you eager to race to the theater to watch it?
No.
Okay.
I like Vanessa Kirby though. She was good in Pieces of a Woman.
Yeah, she's good. I really like her.
Did you guys see Pieces of a Woman?
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. She was pregnant in that too. Now she's pregnant in real life.
I saw Mission Impossible.
Yeah?
She was in that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
She was really good in that. Yeah, no, she was like a gangster bad guy. Yeah, very, very good.
Okay.
A lot of range.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch this. I'm not going to watch Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Well, okay, here's why. Is because I predict that with how fucking obnoxiously safe and boring they're playing this introduction to their soft reboot or whatever we're calling it, I predict that both of you are going to experience something called sunken cost fallacy and see more movies in the franchise than you actually want to because you're already so invested in it. And I'm going to come out on top and you're going to say, I regret having seen these dumb movies and getting peer pressured and society cucked into having conversations about films that I perceived to be culturally relevant and participated in them being culturally relevant by playing the fucking game. You're going to regret that. Yeah. You're going to be coming back crying and saying, Adam, I'm sorry. And I'm going to be like, yeah, you should have watched Castration Movie Part 1 Traps.
What can you say? We're poor normie losers.
I guess it's a normie masterpiece.
Is it?
Yeah. No, it's not a normie masterpiece. It's just it's not even that. It's like a normie. Yeah, that's fine.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
Fantastically normal.
The way you guys are selling these films are just like, yeah, it's fine. Like it just seems like a complete fucking waste of time for me.
I don't regret seeing it. I really don't. I
don't either. I enjoy myself. Like
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I like superhero movies way more than you, Adam. There is something about these characters on like at a base level, and like you just don't give a shit. So like, there's nothing you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah. No, just from like a world view of just like analyzing what they're doing and trying to achieve movie to movie, I feel like it's worthwhile. Like it's just kind of like a fascinating project of seeing this massive corporation just kind of with flop sweat going, oh fuck, okay, shit, okay, hold on, we got this, and so much money is on the line. Like it's just fascinating. I don't know how you can't watch it, even if you're seeing it like a train crash. Like you just kind of are intrigued, and not all of these are terrible. Some of these are good, and I do really enjoy what they were at least attempting to do here.
Yeah, like the whole rise and fall angle of like them dominating everything for so long, then them stumbling, and then whatever's going to happen with the RDJ stuff. Like that's intriguing to me, like on a meta level.
Yeah, not intriguing enough for me to like watch it happening through the films themselves.
Right, yeah, you can just look on Twitter.
Like maybe I'll get like, if the real life Disney success or failure story becomes interesting enough for me, then maybe I might want to check out the films themselves, right? I don't feel like I need to do that as it's happening in a theater where I can't even like, make snarky comments out loud at it. That seems like a big waste of time.
What if they got Hanukkah to direct Doomsday? Would you?
1000% I would see it. Yes. What do you mean? Of course.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer. That sounds like the most interesting thing that could ever happen.
I think they should go for that angle. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. He's like 90 now.
Yeah, he could do it.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah. What is his age? 83. Wow. That was close. He's getting there. I wonder if he's got one more movie left in him.
What was his last one?
Happy End in 2017. And he was supposed to do like a mini series or something after that, and then it fell through.
No. I hate it when these like big auteur, art house directors are like, okay, you can't make a movie, but make this miniseries. Like, I don't want to see a miniseries.
No, he wanted to, and then that just like didn't happen because it might not have gotten funding. Like it got scrapped. I don't think it was his decision, which is so unfortunate.
There's only very specific projects that people seem to care about in the form of like a miniseries, like an adolescence or something that catches that zeitgeist we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, he also he teaches at a film school in Austria.
Okay.
I think that's his like main job. His directing's a side gig. I don't know if he's still doing that. I don't know. Maybe we should ask the paparazzi to check in on Michel Haneke.
We should get him on the podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak English.
Well, let's get someone to translate.
Yeah. Okay. Funny Games, directed by Michel Haneke. I call him Hanky Chan. I feel like that's an easier way to anglicize it.
That's definitely easier.
You know what? And it kind of took off because there's a huge overlap between fans of him and people who watch my channel because just, I don't know, not that many people talk about him, I guess. So whenever I see on the internet someone says Hanky Chan, like in the Criterion subreddit or something, I'm like, hey, I see you. Yeah, he's a very, very interesting director. And I love not only how meticulous and perfectionist he wound up becoming over the years, but also he's got very bold and interesting ideas about what he would like to communicate in a film and how he challenges audience members. Anyway, Funny Games is an Austrian film from 1997. It premiered at Cannes Film Festival. And at Cannes, and even after Cannes. It wound up getting pretty mixed reactions. It's a pretty divisive film. And 10 years later, he remade it into a U.S. film, a shot-for-shot remake of his own film 1 decade later. The first of its kind. Nobody's ever done that before. And what the hell did you guys think about it? I think we can talk about both movies at the same time. I don't think it makes sense to section.
It'd be hard not to.
Exactly.
With how similar they are, I guess.
Yeah.
I had seen the American one, US, before, but not the original, I guess, Austrian version. Had you seen either of these, Jake? Or is this your first time with both?
No, this is my first time with both. I am familiar with Haneke. I've seen, Cachet. I really love Amour.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I'd seen that, but that's
his normie masterpiece, actually.
Yeah, it makes sense why it's my favorite one of his. Actually, Cachet, I think, is my favorite. Code Unknown, nice. And now these two films. Yeah, so this was my first time.
First impressions?
At first, I was kind of like, what's his creative inspiration for wanting to set this in the US so badly? But doing some reading, I found that quite interesting, like his justification for it, and this whole slant to these movies where they're almost like anti-movies, where it's using the language of cinema to set up things and purposefully upset you for the nature of the commentary that it's going for. There's even a piece of trivia that's funny, where it said during the production, Haneke said that if the film was a success, it would be because audiences had misunderstood the meaning behind it, which I think is such a funny, interesting, kind of bold approach to a film. That's wild. I don't know if I can think of another movie with that kind of attitude to it. But yeah, I find it disturbing. I do think he has actually made an incredible horror movie. I know he says he wasn't intending for it to be that way. With the commentary angle and him wanting it to be set in the US specifically for he wanted American audiences to watch it. But correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, you know a lot more about these movies than me.
You haven't said anything incorrect.
Yeah, but wanting the American audiences to, because of the commentary of it being about the violence and the indulgence in media and how disgusted he is by that voyeurism. And voyeurism is also a big part of Cachet from memory. That's clearly something he finds intriguing and to put into his stories. So that kind of convinced me, okay, because you were just saying he hasn't made a movie in a while and he's getting up there. It's like a big commitment to make a movie, let alone make the same movie 10 years later. The same movie, shot for shot. And I'm kind of curious how everyone feels about if they have a preference to which one they prefer, because I think there is one I prefer over the other. But I think that would be interesting to bring up as we go along. But Jake, initial impressions, because I have no idea how you feel about this.
Yeah, I hated it.
Hey,
nice.
Which one did you hate more?
And I mean that, I mean that with affection, but also, what the fuck? What? Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
I was is this a spite recommendation? Because
no. I was doing it because I wanted to watch it. I was not, whether or not, I was not thinking about what you would be thinking by recommending the film.
Okay. I'm slightly less mad now.
Okay. I apologize.
Can you blame someone for that interpretation? They really? With the...
No.
It was fascinating, and a very unpleasant experience. Adam, did you say this was your favorite?
It might be.
Movie? Or
my favorite Haneke.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen it?
Well over 10, the US version.
I feel I'm curious to know what you really love about this film, because I can see it's definitely well made, it's a really effective movie. It's very harrowing and intense, but I also found myself very, very bored through a lot of it once I kind of got what it was doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I watched the 97 one first. And I felt like, and I think another problem too is that it's a very notorious movie, and a lot of people talk about it in terms of its quote unquote gimmick, which is, you know, the.
Well, wait. We can do. Are we going to spoil it now?
Oh, sorry.
I mean, we can. We just want to like make sure we.
No,
say.
No. I'll wait to talk about that. But I think I knew certain parts of it already, so it didn't really come as a surprise, and it felt very much like, oh, this is it. Like, this is the point that is being made, and I get why it was divisive, and I don't want to be someone who's just like, well, this is, you know, treating me like I'm dumb or bad because, you know, I enjoy violence in films or something like that. I don't want to be that way about it, you know, but it did feel to me like I understood the point that the film is making, and it felt like it was just kind of like rubbing my nose in the subject. And I watched an interview with Haneke that he's basically was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I want to manipulate the audience and make you feel bad. And if I'm not upsetting people, then I'm not doing my job. And he said that the reaction at Cannes was super gratifying because people were pissed about it and were arguing and debating.
Well, half of them.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so you just kind of wanted to do this. And there was a telling moment in his interview, I thought, where he said that the intellectual, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said the intellectuals were mad at the film because they felt like it was saying violence, you know, like it was saying its point over and over and over again. But to me, it's different when you experience it. And I think I get what he was going for from that angle. Like, it's one thing to be like, we are susceptible to manipulation and we enjoy violence on screen. And it's like, yeah, I enjoy certain violence on screen. You know, we all do. We all love violence on screen, etc. But, you know, when you're confronted with images that are very realistic, or, you know, like it's just like, I understand what violence is outside of, a movie screen. So it just kind of felt like, I get it, man. Like, yeah, I think it is weird how we fetishize violence on screen, but I don't really see much beyond what you're doing here with that. And also, it kind of felt like you're still making a very effective, manipulative thriller that's exciting. And, he also said in that same interview, like, it's been reclaimed in a cult way by people who I didn't really want to reclaim it that way, like the people who love it because it's just torture porn or whatever. And it's like, so what is the point of, doing this? If you're trying to make a point, but also ultimately you're kind of giving into the point itself. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not articulating myself well, but
that is a large part of the point, is him using his tricks to manipulate the audience, right? And so and what I really enjoyed about watching it this time, so I'd seen the Funny Games US version over 10 times or whatever. I had seen the Austrian one once. This is the first time that I'd seen them both in like quick succession. And it was really interesting noting the differences between the two, which even just watching the Austrian first this time, I was like, okay, here's a difference. Just because I knew the American one so well. So watching it with that understanding, especially the changes that he makes along the way, and they're some of them are subtle, some of them are more explicit, but they're all, well, most of them, the majority of them are ways where he's essentially like fine-tuned his craft over a decade, whether that be just from having more connections and budget and resources, or just from having learned or been self-critical of his own film and introspective, like him watching that and being like, okay, here's what I would change about this. So I really enjoyed that aspect. To bring that into your point, the manipulation and how good he is at manipulating audiences, it has to be effective in that way in order to make his point, right? And the movie that I get out of it, it's one that I find interesting that he is making that point, but it's not like that's the experience of the movie for me. Like it can exist in both ways, where it is a really super effective thriller, but in a way where he is quite literally able to explicitly break the fourth wall in this film without getting too spoilery yet, I guess. I mean, we could at any point in time, but he's able to do that and yet still reel you back in.
Mm-hmm.
And watching the film and, you know, experiencing it in that way, it's a real testament to how skilled he is as a filmmaker to be able to do that. Because any other film that would try to do that, it would be like, okay, you've lost me, sort of thing, right? But throughout the film, or at least in my experience, you know, despite him doing that, he's still able to present these characters in such a not just shocking, but like brutal way, from performances to the makeup and hairstyling to the lighting, all of these elements of filmmaking that he understands are tricks. And he said throughout his career, even, you know, independently of this film, he has a quote, something along the lines of like, films are 24 lies per second at the pursuit of some greater truth. I probably paraphrase that, but like he's very much felt that way about cinema, is that he's essentially like a magician in a way, right? Like a illusionist. Like he's actively tricking and lying to people. And so he as a, you know, character is fascinated by not only his ability to do that, but the experience of the audience as he's making his films. Sorry if that was a bit long-winded, but my thoughts are kind of scattered a little bit.
No, that makes sense. This is weirdly reminding us, or me, of our discussion on Starship Troopers, you know, where we're talking about the different way audiences interpret it, but on its face.
You can have both.
It's a commentary on propaganda, but it's also, everyone just loves it because it's like a cool action film. It's good at what it's doing, and it feels kind of similar here, like a real exercise in hopelessness. Like the stomach drops I feel from not as much when I actually wound up watching them pretty close to each other. I was going to pace them out, but I was enjoying what you were saying, Adam, like comparing the differences between them. But the first one, the 97 one, I watched first, and that did emotionally affect me more just because it's been a while since I'd seen it, and I couldn't remember little details like towards the second half and stuff like this. But yeah, I didn't find it repetitive in the way Jake did. I found it quite sickening in the way I think it was going for. I don't know about if you interpret it as sort of a nihilistic kind of message in there, like at the end of it, with obviously what the film is going for and how negative it is. This isn't like the typical home invasion film. Your Don't Breathes, your Strangers, or like a Panic Room. It's very against type, and I think it's probably the best home invasion film I've seen, as far as like taking this sickening concept and showing it to you in a disturbingly realistic way. Yeah, really, really fucked up film.
Well, you know, I just I totally see where you guys are coming from, but I can't help feeling like I want more there, you know, besides like I felt a bit frustrated watching it. Like, okay, I get at a certain point in the film, I was like, all right, I get it. You're just gonna you're going against convention. You're trying not to let the audience enjoy the thrill of them fighting back, or, you know, or violence in a cathartic way. You know, it has to be very gruesome and painful. I'm totally fine with that. I'm very interested in how he depicts violence in his movies, and he's very intentional about the subject and has a lot to say. But I don't think that it was conveyed very interestingly in this film, and I felt a lot of it just kind of felt like he was sneering at the audience at certain points, with literally the villains of the film looking at the camera. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this spoilers?
All right, spoiler time, everybody. We're spoiling the movie. Spoiler section. Watch the movie. I love it.
Okay. I think people should watch it, even though I didn't enjoy it.
Watch the 2007 one. That's my favorite.
I think that when the characters are turning and winking at the camera, like it is very much like an obvious. And this was interesting, actually. The interview I watched, Haneke said that he'd been developing this story, like a home invasion thriller, since like the 60s, and that the last part, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but the last part he developed of this film was the meta commentary, winking at the camera stuff.
Yeah, he added that in after.
And there are images that it just felt very obvious to me of like, okay, I get what you're doing. Why are you so like gleeful and just like enjoying this? I felt very like sadistic, and there's nothing wrong with a filmmaker toying with like it's interesting because usually we're used to filmmakers toying with the audience and being sadistic, and us going along like them not pointing it out. That's part of the like the artifice and the fun of being manipulated and giving yourself over to a director. But this was Haneke manipulating us and going like, oh, aren't you so guilty for like being manipulated and enjoying this violence, and you really want these people to be killed, don't you? And it's like, yeah, I do want them to fucking shoot the bad guys. Like, what's so bad about like, I do want to see that, and I don't feel bad about that. I just feel like you want me to feel bad about it, and I feel I get that it is an interesting connection that we have to film violence, but I personally just don't see it as like a moral, a huge moral problem. And I think that it was really just the tone of how it was approached. I felt like condescended to almost. Yeah,
I actually agree with that to a degree. But I got more of like an emotional experience out of it. Like it felt like to me it enhanced like the whole package of it with the. It feels like you're experiencing a similar kind of psychological torture that these characters are bringing. And yeah, just kind of reveling in that sadism and this like sick cat and mouse game that is being played in front of you. And it's like, no, even as the audience, you're not safe. And these like weird conversations they're having towards the end about like, what is it exactly? Like the media, they're like on the boat, and it's like all the layers of like meta commentary that are like stuffed in there. That was like consistently interesting and intriguing and disturbing to me, which is what I'd want from a film like this.
Yeah, I don't feel as though one needs to agree or have the perspective that it's like a pressing issue, like what he's trying to get at. I find the director's perspective on this not like, oh yeah, this is like an important thing that needs to be addressed, thank you for talking about it or anything. I just find it interesting that that's his angle. Like, I don't necessarily have to agree with that to get the experience of the film. I just find it super fucking cool that, as you pointed out, other movies are manipulative, but they don't explicitly state that they're doing that. I think it's super cool that he was able to do that and still be just as effective in his manipulation. The tools that he has at his disposal to make these tricks, to manipulate the audience in his own way. It's the fact that he's still able to do that is just a testament to how masterful he is. Like, I think that just like, especially seeing the differences between the two films and just like these tiny improvements that he's made along the way, like, even with the child's performance, like there's really no other director that is so consistently great at like directing children to get great performances, or just being so detail oriented every step of the way. I'm in awe with how he presents his films.
I was kind of wondering about that with the kid stuff, especially in the Austrian version. I felt like the violence towards the kids seemed a bit more intense. So I was kind of wondering about like how is he getting these performances out of this like child? How do they ethically put this together? Because it is disturbing to watch, let alone the trauma, I guess, that the actors had to go through. Like, I was reading some of them about like the lead woman like crying for 20 minutes before they'd like start a shot and they'd have to do the same shot again and again and again. It's just like, wow, that is a commitment to something.
Yeah.
Pretty like sickening.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I mean, I think I will admit, I think whichever movie you see first, it's probably just going to stick with you more, simply because they are so similar, just shot by shot. But after, I saw the Austrian one first, and then watching the American one, I do think it's a considerable step down, simply because it's like it feels like an experiment in the same way. Have you guys seen Psycho and the Gus Van Sant Psycho?
Yes, but I mean, not the same director.
I haven't seen the remake.
Yeah, different directors, but was trying to do like a shot for shot remake. And this, because there were a lot of mannerisms and things, like the way Naomi Watts doing the same dialogue as the actress in the Austrian version, it comes across as like stilted, and the dynamics, it just felt very artificial in a way I didn't feel it was as artificial in the Austrian one. And also, like, seeing these movies, I watched them very close to each other, just like you did, Alex, but seeing them back to back like that, I felt less of a gut feeling, or less manipulated, I guess, on the second watch, and just kind of looking at it, the craft on display of like, yeah, that's interesting, these shot choices, whatever, the acting, but it is such a thin story, and very, like, I don't like that it seems to be looking down on the genre of, like, in all sorts of genre filmmaking, like, oh, this isn't, this is just manipulation, and I can do that. And it's like,
I mean, he did. He's allowed to say that when he did.
I mean, there are some effective manipulations, but I also felt extremely frustrated and bored during certain sequences of, like, why don't the characters do this? This is very silly, like, really choices that in any other genre film, we'd be going like, oh yeah, that was dumb. Why would the characters do that? But because Hanukkah is making a statement, about the genre and about violence, then we can go, well, that's the point. It's supposed to frustrate you. So even if it is effective in some ways and ineffective in other ways, you can easily be like, well, he's trying to, to frustrate the audience and go against expectations. So it felt very hit and miss to me in that regard. And after a certain point, again, like, once it becomes like, if you're making trauma porn to try to critique trauma porn, then it's like, where does and we were talking about, I think actually the Starship Troopers was a really good comparison, because I think Starship Troopers is, like, really effective in the satire. Like, it is subtle, but it is very, I feel like it's saying more about, like, fascism, and it has a lot more to say personally to me than this film, which is just kind of about itself, and very, again, none of these are like, this is an objectively bad film, because it is well made. There are qualities that are very good to it, but it just felt to me like a massive, just a huge frustration, and I felt very upset. And maybe that's what he wanted, but I don't think I don't think I was upset in the way he necessarily wanted me to be upset.
What were some examples of, like, your why didn't the character do this moment?
Oh, like when they're walking out, when she's talking to the characters who come over in the boat, and because. Of course, we're trained in other movies to be like, well, fight back. You could take on these two guys, even though you're smaller and whatever. Like, there are things that I think could have been done, and that the characters could have done that would have been interesting or changed it. Like, I don't know. It just felt like, again, and also the characters aren't really characters. Like, we don't really know anything about them, which gives it all to the performances to lend whatever it is to the film. Like, again, at the end of the day, what it felt like to me was just like, this is an interesting experiment. I get what you're saying. Like, all right, we see blood on the TV screen. Americans, we like our violence and we're very stupid. Yes, thank you. I understand. I understand. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but I had such a gut reaction. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's intriguing that the the American on the cast likes it the least when you're the target audience.
Yeah, maybe.
This is what's supposed to happen, though. Right? It's no mistake that the US version was much more poorly received.
Yeah, I noticed that the difference between like the ratings on IMDb and the Metascore and whatnot is significantly lower for Funny Games US.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually do prefer the Austrian version myself. I found it slightly more effective in certain ways.
Can you give some examples? I'm curious about this.
One of the more distracting elements to me was, I guess, not to criticize their performance in any way, but just the nature of having Naomi Watts and Tim Roth, like two Brits doing the American accent and whatnot.
I thought she was Australian.
Was just more immersion breaking to me than these, Austrians or Germans or whatever they are, who I didn't particularly recognize. That just felt kind of more immersive to me, and there was something, I don't know, like very un-Hollywood about it, and very sort of like rough around the edges and a bit more scrappy, which made it feel a bit more believable in the 97 version. And just like little details, like when one of the shots standing out in my head is when the kid escapes and he tries to climb over the gate. I just like bought the kid in the 97 version, like not being able to climb over the gate.
Oh yeah. Well, there are different types of gates. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like the kid in the 2007 one could have actually made it over that. I know that's like a nitpick, but watching them so close to each other, I was thinking that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, well, because I think that part of what was communicated in that escape scene was not just like, oh, is the kid able to do this? He was having a thought process going through his head of like, okay, which way are they going to chase me, right? Which is why he doesn't go out the front door initially and goes up the stairs. So that was my interpretation of that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I guess I also agree with what Jake was saying about the I guess the dialogue kind of just flowed a bit better for me in the 97 one. I just kind of bought the characters and bought into their family dynamic a bit stronger. And this is more just kind of like gut reactions, because you do kind of have to go down to nitpicks when it is when they are this similar. I just felt like when I'm given these two options of the same shot and these two different mixes of characters and actors, I feel more often enjoying the 97 version. I feel like I'm more at parody with the villainous characters. I think they're excellent and the best part of both of them. Again, I kind of liked how in the 97 version, how just un-Hollywood they are. They just look like these two pretty normal dudes you could just see on the street, and like the hair and everything. And that costume design, I found it like a lot freakier, just with like his body type, like coming out of the water and coming out of that darkness, chasing that kid. It was like giving me tingles down my spine. It was freaking me out, which I just don't really get in the same way from the 2007 version. Although I still find those characters compelling and freaky in both of them, especially with that costume design too. They're like all white and the gloves and this weird cyclical implication of like, it was cool watching the 2007 one right after the 97 one with the opening, and like the first time you see it, you're like, and they're talking about why are they acting so weird, and then like but by the end where it's revealed that they're, God knows how many times they've gone through this cycle and they're just doing it again and again, and how kind of disturbing and freaky that is. I really like that as far as like a horror angle is concerned. But yeah, what are some of the major differences that really win you over to the 2007 version? Because even like down to changing the breed of dog to be like a more unanimously loved, it's a golden retriever in the 2007 one, it's an Alsatian in 97. Just things like that seemed like quite intentional. Yeah,
it seems like more, innocent, and then also, gives the family like a more bougie appearance, So for your comments about like the actors, I prefer Naomi Watts and Tim Roth and both villains. I guess for the mother character, Naomi Watts, and I forget her name, the German or Austrian actress, like I would say that those are like pretty close for me. They both have incredible strengths. Like both of those performances are fantastic. For the two villains, I feel like their characters are just so much more fleshed out through their performances in the US version. I feel like they're more like unique and interesting, and they work better for them kind of existing in this way where they're playing with the audience as if they're acting in, a different genre of film than the family characters are. I feel like what they brought to the roles worked so much better in the US version. And it might, it's really difficult to judge these kinds of things with performances because none of us speak German, right? The language barrier is always going to do something, whether it's adding or subtracting. There's plenty of movies that I've watched where I've thought like, oh, that's a great performance. And then someone who speaks the language natively will be like, actually, it's not. And it's like, oh, damn, like I thought from what I could gather based on, like body language and facial expressions, doesn't account for intonation or enunciation or, the way that sentences can flow naturally. So that's always going to be difficult to judge.
Well, yeah, that body language and the cheekiness of the fourth wall breaks, especially from the Austrian version with the Paul character, that was like, that hit harder to me each time. It did feel a bit more kind of like cheeky and sickening. And that other like examples of performance moments that really stood out, that when the dad in that like 10-minute long shot like starts breaking down and he's been like so sort of like stoic up until that point, I thought the Austrian version's performance there was exceptionally good, and a great like kind of character moment. And the same with the mother when she,
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I really like the dad in the Austrian version when, and that line where he says, "Forgive me," before she leaves out the window, and then her reaction to that, that's like another performance highlight to me, especially in the 97 version.
Yeah, when it comes to performances, like you could literally say the exact same words and then just swap movies and you'd have my opinion. Like it's so weird, but it's very interesting at least. I guess, yeah, so I'm hoping you agree with me on this one at the very least. Like the child actor was way, way, way better in the US version, or at least how he was directed. Like way more emotional and disheveled, and like you could really feel just from the performance like, oh, this kid is scared and trying to prevent his own death, and he understands like the gravity of the situation. There's also really interesting, I guess the performance is a part of it, but like the way that he directed the child. When I was watching the Austrian 97 version, because I'm so familiar with the US version, probably, there were moments that stood out to me, not just like, okay, yeah, he should be crying more. I don't really believe that he's scared for his life, but the physical performance or like even the blocking, right? So when the golf swing happens and the dad's leg is attacked or whatever, Haneke fixed a weird kind of like pacing editing issue involving the child in that scene. If you watch the 97 version, when it cuts to the dad on the floor, the kid is like already on top of him. In the 2007 version, it gives it a little bit more space. It's a very subtle change, but there's like half a second more. You can see the kid from standing position, then go on to the dad. And it feels so much less clunky. It feels so much more natural and smooth. When the kid is about to escape, and he decides like, no, I'm not going to go out the front door. I'm going to go up the stairs or whatever. In the Austrian version, he's not really selling it. He's not really like, it just seems like a kid awkwardly not knowing what to do on set sort of thing. I'm like, okay, weird. I'm like not really into the emotions of it. In the 2007 version, he might have directed him differently, but the shot is so dark that you can barely make out what's happening other than just like the implication of him going up the stairs. Like the sound design is there. And I find that really, really interesting. And it's not like, oh, he just did that to fix that shot. Because consistently the outdoor shots and the dark scenes are way, 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 way darker in the US version, which I find particularly interesting if we're going to stay on the same subject of like filmmaking tricks. You know, if the goal is to be like hyper manipulative, I find that really cool for him to do that in a horror movie. When the kid is when he makes it to the neighbor's house. In the Austrian version, he's running away, makes it to the neighbor's house. You see the other character, fucking, what's his name? Paul? Yeah, Paul, walking up from the water. In the Austrian version, the kid, thinks he's going to like knock on the door first. He opens it and then goes inside. Watching that, especially because I'm so familiar with the US version, it was like, okay, something's really missing here. Like, I swear to God, like, why did he just open the door? He fixed that in the US version. He made it so that the kid has a small moment where instead of just going through the door, he stops. He stops for a second, and just from that subtle character moment, direction moment, we know that the kid is surprised by the door being open. We know that the kid is surprised by the door not being locked. It adds an extra layer, right? It adds another layer of like tension and fear, like, oh, okay, why is the door unlocked? And if we see the character react to it in that way, that helps the audience understand that not just the character, but the situation. Tiny, tiny little subtle details along the way that do so much for my experience. That just, oh yeah, even like when the kid sees the trail of water that he left, the lights turn on because Paul enters the house. The kid is now realizing, oh shit, because he came out of the water, he left a trail. He's going to get caught. Austrian version, the kid, we're being told that the kid realizes this, and then the kid takes off his shoes and socks and pants to try and not leave the trail. Like, that is being inferred by the actions that the kid has taken. But we don't feel that the kid believes it. And so in the US version, there's so much more of a sense of urgency from the performance. He's doing the action quicker. The kid, through his performance and facial expression and like this anxiety that he's communicating, we understand that the kid knows that there's a level of urgency towards doing that. Like, he's being chased, he's being hunted, he's about to be killed, right? He needs to get rid of this extra threat, this extra risk of leaving a trail. So he's trying to get that shit off quickly, right? Tons of subtle differences that just make the experience so much better for me and make it like, oh yeah, this is why I am so much more affected by the US version. Like, there's little he left a trail along the way directing, and it's so interesting to think about for me, that you can essentially film the same thing shot for shot and have so many tiny considerations that do so much lifting, at least for my experience. And I know that might not be the same experience for everybody. The lighting, so much more incredible in this film. The way that, especially when the lights are turned off, when they start explaining the rules to the family, how, the lights are turned off in that room, and the only light we're getting is essentially from the windows. And they had a line earlier saying, that it's getting darker outside, so it's like kind of overcasty. The way that there's so much more depth and texture to the lighting in this film, which is interesting because it's complemented by a much more sterile and clinical set design than the original. Which,
yes,
yeah, it's like those two things kind of like swapped. In the original film, the set design, less sterile and clinical, but also kind of like less bougie too. It really feels like kind of just like, I don't know, like a normal cottage. It doesn't really reflect like that much of like a higher income status for the Austrian version, whereas like in the US version, it's very like, ooh, this is bougie. Like, the roads are bigger. Like, everything looks newer and cleaner, and yeah, again, like sterile.
What was the commentary behind the like bouginess thing? Because that's I still don't really have a solid interpretation of the opening scene. I'm curious what you think. Where they're talking about classical music, like, so feeding into what you're saying about this. They're like they have a boat behind their Range Rover. They're like a clearly high class, have lots of money, talking about classical music. What do you think that's saying through picking this type of family, choosing like a lake house setting and this level of wealth? 'Cause I wasn't really picking up beyond just the horror and it gives you like a good excuse for big houses that are detached from each other, you know, so you can have scary things happen and loud things happen without alerting other people.
Well, I think part of the commentary, especially for deciding to do a US version and making that really strong, is that he's trying to get at the idea of he's not only trying to talk about the types of media Americans consume on a basis of like violence, but also on a basis of just how, you know, like isolated and like uncurious a lot of American sensibilities are. Like, so many Americans don't have a fucking passport, right? Like, so many Americans just believe that they were born in the most perfect place to ever exist. Why would they want to go anywhere else? And that's reflected in the media choices that Americans have. Like, and, you know, a lot of people get pissed off when I mention this, but it's very, very true. It's fixing itself in recent years. Like, we're seeing, you know, things like Parasite and like Squid Games. And, you know, we're seeing a lot more foreign language films and shows kind of introducing themselves into American culture in a way that is definitely not how things were in 1997 or 2007, right? Where 4 kids had to like call onigiri jelly donuts because you just couldn't possibly have kids knowing that another food existed. You had to change it. You had to localize it. What are you going to do? Have a kid know that you can have a rice ball? Like, it was a big problem, and it's still a problem, but not as much as it used to be. And you could make kind of like an analogy for these like kind of like bougie, you know, this affluent white family just doing their thing without a care in the world. If you look at some of Haneke's other filmography, like Caché, you'd know that like he's very conscious of the idea of, you know, I guess we could even say like privilege and having yourself being isolated from consequences that other people might be experiencing and just not giving a fuck because you're fine. Like the sort of like, fuck you, got mine mentality. And that could be, you know, something that is purely economic, but also, you know, sometimes geographical and cultural. I think that he is making some sort of commentary on, you know, Americans being kind of just like in their own little bubble and having these other characters showing up and you know, manipulating and playing games with them and just being like, no, fuck you, we're gonna like torture you a bit. In a way, he's kind of like doing that as the director. Like, I don't know if that's the exact thing to take away from it, but like him sort of, you know, like him putting this movie overseas. It's the only American movie he's ever made. It's the only English language film he's ever made. He doesn't even speak English, but he felt it very important to do this. Like, he's essentially, you know, showing up with like a Trojan horse. And in some ways you could say that that's what's happening to the characters in the film, right? Like, I think that there is kind of some commentary there.
Well, maybe that's why I think also the American version is way worse received, and also why I have such a negative reaction to it, because it does feel like, and I think you're expressing it too, of like, you know, well, these stupid Americans, they don't really know real culture. I'll make a good, you know, movie that'll kind of like, you know, make fun of them a little bit. And you kind of see it too, like, and I think your comparison to like how it looks different is really interesting, because I think it looks worse, actually. I thought the American one looked worse, but in a way that was like thematically resonant, because it looks like a Nancy Meyers movie. It's like the super brightly lit, like it looks like it's going to be a rom-com, you know, like at the beginning of the movie. But I think that like attitude of like this this European man being like, well, here, I don't even have to change my movie at all. I just want you Americans to see how dumb you guys are and how much you like violence. It's like, hey, you know, like that. I'm not opposed to like doing that or anything, but I think that it is, to me, just like it just felt like, okay, yeah, all right. I don't know. It's hard because I do understand where you guys are coming from. Of like there is such interesting technique on display, but I still am not convinced beyond the kind of like it feels like a spite movie, and that's maybe why I'm like,
oh, sorry,
maybe I'm the target audience, but like I'm a dumb American. I like my genre thrillers, and I do not think that's I'm not ashamed of that, like and it does feel like a sense of I feel a sense of a lack of curiosity, I guess, in Haneke going, I'm going to remake the film and just put a golden retriever in there, and it's America now, and it's about you Americans, and it's like,
no, it was always about that. He just didn't have the ability to make it that way, right? The first film is like more like a proof of concept.
Okay, I understand that, but then to like even the dialogue feels very stilted and awkward because it does feel like we're just like roughly translating from German. Like in those moments when she's talking to Eggman, like, like she calls him young man, like young man, da da da. And it's just like certain phrases that she uses. It's like, well, I don't think an American would say that, especially in 2007 or like there are details that kept pulling me out of the movie like that.
Okay.
Of like it feels like you're just directly translating from the German, and it feels kind of less authentic and a lot like, I know about you people, like this is just take the pill and understand that yeah, I don't know, I'm just rambling.
Do you think
this is really like striking me in a unique way? I don't think any movie we've ever spoken about on this podcast has, with the nature of our different cultural backgrounds and where we grew up in the world and where we're gravitating, like American doesn't like any of it. I'm gravitating more towards the European version, and the Canadian, I guess, it feels that American, your neighbors, you definitely understand the American culture a lot deeper than I would. I've only been there a couple of times or whatnot. So I don't know how much that's playing into like the way we're leaning with how we feel towards it. That's really interesting to me.
Oh yeah. Do you think that there's when you're talking about like, some things maybe being feeling like translated versions of the Austrian, do you think that there might also be some commentary on the concept of American remakes? Because how many American films are just presented as though they are their own film, but then you find out later, no, this is actually just a remake of another thing that came out a decade or less ago from another country, right?
Yeah, I don't know where to draw the line with that. I think
one. that's probably like there. I don't think he did it to the point of like, ooh, I'm going to intentionally mistranslate this or anything like that. But I think that he did that with the awareness that like if that were to happen, that it's not even necessarily something that's a mistake.
Do you know anything about the approach to directing all of these, I guess, mostly British, but English-speaking actors, despite not being able to speak English? Like, I'm very curious about that process.
I'm assuming he had a translator.
Right, yeah.
I would love to see more behind-the-scenes shit for this film. What's really unfortunate is it seems like this film, out of like his entire filmography, is the most like forgotten, and like it's missing from some box sets. Fucking Criterion released a Blu-ray of the 97, did not release anything of this film. It might be a rights issue because this is like, I think, owned by Warner Brothers. Thanks, David. Yeah, so I don't know. There's not as many like special features or anything for this film. Like I would love to just see him directing, but I guess there aren't really any of his films where you actually see him like on set. You always just see him kind of doing interviews after the fact. I don't think he's ever had anyone making like a documentary alongside the production of the film. So I guess we'll never see it, but yeah, I'd be really curious to find out. I'm just assuming he had a translator.
That would make sense.
Yeah, someone that he trusted to be able to like communicate the details, because he's a very detail-oriented director for sure.
And I assume they watched the original too for inspiration.
Must have, yeah.
That would have helped.
Yeah, the sound design is so much more fucking textured in this film. So much more going on.
When you say so much more, like
it's like a noticeable difference for me.
Like you give it like different scores type thing. Like you enjoy one so much more.
Yeah, these are two different scores.
Interesting.
Like they're both great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to hold back on feeling like it almost comes down to like nitpicks, or they probably sound like nitpicks with like what I'm saying. But I don't know. I just gravitate more towards the European one. It just something about it just feels more the like, I don't know, the realism of it, which I feel is like quite important for the gut punches to hit the way they are. It just felt more kind of organic and just flowed better to me.
Yeah, you could say the exact same thing talking about the separate movie just from my perspective.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to really like fine tune exactly what makes us feel that way. I think we'd have to do like frame by frame with each other, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're over
12-hour. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, it's okay. Here's some might call me autistic.
Okay.
But there's some goofs and gaffes that I noticed in the original film that were not in the 2007. Some bad ADR where the dialogue isn't synced to his lips. Timestamp is 19 minutes and 30 seconds for that one. Anybody curious? There's more bad ADR at 37 minutes. I wrote down my timestamps in my notes. There's a boom mic in the reflection of the window at 45 minutes and 14 seconds. Sure. Like people can call these things nitpicks. But when you have a director like Haneke, where it's clear that he cares about those things enough to improve upon them over time, like he's one of the most detail-oriented filmmakers ever. Like he does care about those things. I don't know if it's fair to call those things insignificant when the director himself is putting so much emphasis on having those things being corrected over the course of his filmography. You know, I'm not going to be like, oh, it ruins the movie or anything, but knowing what he's going for and knowing how he's improved himself over the years, you know, even the overhead shots at the beginning of the film, filmed from a helicopter, there's a shakiness in the 1997 film that feels not as precise, right? Like there's like a bumpiness.
See, I kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what kind of like tone you want out of it. I love those things too. If it's, you know, like a Harmony Korine film or Castration Movie Part 1 Traps. You know, like it really depends on the genre, but like a Haneke film, I consider the improved definitive version to be the one where he's, you know, showing off a bit more in terms of how he's able to, you know, whittle away at those imperfections. And again, this is a movie about filmmaking. This is about the tricks. This is about the methodology.
But are they imperfections? I mean, that's how I feel. Like, you know, it just feels like it's different for a lot of them. Like, because like, what is a perfection? You know, because to me, and I think it's telling that, you know, a lot of people just don't like the American remake as much as the original, because to me, it just feels like, yeah, these tiny things don't matter as much as one might think. You know, while it may be technically correct to have the boom mic out of that shot, but maybe you're missing the immediacy of the particular way the light is hitting, you know, in this room or what, you know, it's like there's so many like billions of tiny little factors and details that are just, you know, different, and it changes everything and you can't really control it. I think what it was is that it's like a telling and very interesting experiment in the fact that you just can't control so much in the filmmaking process. And I think that's really, you know, fascinating. Like you just don't know what goes into it all the time.
I would say that it's him showing that he is in control over time. I would say that it's him proving that he can have control over those things and how he's learned to have more control over those things and how he's become like a master at control. Like I love those things. I love seeing someone be able to make those changes. Yeah, like he has an awareness of his own work. He has an awareness of like the experience of audience members, even, you know, to something I mentioned earlier, like get the kid to pause just for a half second as he's opening the door. Then it communicates that he's surprised that the door's open. It communicates that the film knows that it's odd that the door is open. Right.
Well, it's funny you use that as an example because I actually, when I was watching the American one, I was thinking, why did he pause? That's kind of weird. Like, is he like, is he like having a moment of like, why is he paused? Just go inside the house. So I guess for you, it communicated that. But to me, I was like, oh, okay. Just, it was like, why was that there?
Because he's surprised.
And yeah, I didn't read that. I read it as just like a weird. I thought it was like an acting mistake or like an acting tick or something. That was like, oh, that could have been a little smoother, or I don't know. I like it's just funny because like these things that seem like corrections to you, to me, I was, for some of them, I'm like, it makes it slightly worse, or not even worse. It's just like a different take. I don't know.
I cannot believe that they would be like incidental. Just having a familiarity with this director, like I know that it's intentional.
What about like some of the translation stuff? Because I do feel like I don't know, it's such a different experience reading the subtitles from a language you don't understand that you were getting at earlier. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember I love that line in the 97 version, one of the fourth wall breaks, saying that it's not even a feature film yet. I don't remember I remember the phrasing is slightly different in the 2007 iteration of that same scene. And there's the few moments where the dialogue is kind of changed around, or I guess it's being translated into English. And I was finding a lot of the phrasing, or at least what the subtitles were saying, I was preferring in the 97 like iteration. So that was one of the lines in particular. I was like, oh, it's kind of a bummer they don't say that in 2007 as well.
Well, maybe he learned that a feature film length is technically around 40 minutes or so, and that would have been an incorrect thing to say.
Well, there's another huge difference between these movies that I'm surprised you guys haven't pointed it out, and it's a huge tonal shift. But sure. I don't know if you guys are aware, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but the first movie came out in 1997. The remake came out in 2007.
Oh, 9/11.
Okay. What world historical event might impact the tone of 9/11 and the war in Iraq and Afghanistan clearly hugely affected the remake, and I think that you can read it as such. You know, even it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Even the pause that the kid has, it's like he was probably thinking about 9/11.
He was probably thinking about 9/11 at that moment.
He was probably like, "Oh, the door is open. Wait."
It's like, wait, what shouldn't I forget? Damn it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect song choice for the one song. Fucking perfect.
The one song.
When the title drops and the freeze frame at the end.
Scary song. I didn't know that Cabin at the end, Cabin in the Woods. I didn't know that was a reference to Funny Games, the title.
Well, I love how in every Hanukkah film I can think of, and there might be like an exception somewhere earlier in his career, but like every single one that I can remember, all of his music is diegetic. Even if it's not from the same point in the film, it's from somewhere in the film. So like the opening title music is from another part in the film. So it's still diegetic, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It doesn't exist as a separate entity. Which is really interesting because like this would be an opportunity where he could break that rule with what he's trying to get at idea-wise, but he still doesn't. He always finds like a clever way to do it. It's like his weird little hyperfixation.
I find that's very similar to Bresson. I think I read somewhere that Hanako is very influenced by Bresson. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay. It's interesting because I do feel like in the beginning of the movie, like stylistically, I'm like, oh, I see Bresson here. Like the way it lingers on the gate closing, like that's not just like foreshadowing. It's just like a very ominous thing, and like Bresson always is holding on doors being closed, and you'll just sit there watching this closed door for a couple seconds, and also like the way things are cut to show like hands and feet, we're not seeing everyone's face all the time, especially in that opening where it just shows her hands going through the CDs and then the dad changing his shoes and all that. I really liked that. It was very I feel like Hanukkah is like a weird mix of Bresson and Hitchcock. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. He's got both of them in there for sure.
Mm.
The weird like anti-Chekhov's gun thing, the knife reincorporation.
Yeah. I love that, like actually. That was really fun.
I thought. Yeah.
It was a funny game.
Super dark. Did you like the Spaceballs reference as well?
Yeah. Good Spaceballs reference.
Oh.
Rewinding.
Yeah. What a hack, Hanukkah, just stealing from Spaceballs.
I actually think that's one of the best scenes in the movie.
No other movie's done it in the same way.
It's just taking it to such an extreme, just tripling down on the hopelessness of like giving you that like false hope, and then just ripping it away, rolling around in the mud and the nihilism of it.
Do you think this was an inspiration for the movie Click, starring Adam Sandler?
Yes.
Okay.
What I realized on this viewing is that the fourth wall it's rewind time. That's what Will Smith was referencing. That's the climax of the movie. Because I had seen the movies, well, the US one especially, like so many times. And the whole thing just flows as like one piece to me. I don't really think of it in like acts per se, but like, that's like pretty close to the end of the movie. Like that's the payoff is the rewind time is essentially what the climax of the film is. Like so interesting. Like that's the moment. That's what it's building up to. And it's, it's designed in a way where people are going to fucking hate it.
Intentional anticlimax, yeah.
The more invested in the characters you are, especially if you're someone that like is not used to movies being more than, tell a story and that's it, right? It's gonna piss a lot of people off. Like this is not for normies. This is the most normie litmus test movie you could possibly have. I don't know if there's a better one.
That's funny because I feel like it is a normie art house entry. Is that
you would say
offensive of me to say? I'm trying to offend people here. No, it feels it because I think maybe part of what's also skewing this is there's so many like, and I don't mean to sound mean or anything, but there are lots of like video essays about this on YouTube that aren't necessarily the most thought out and kind of very surface level of like,
yes, I agree.
Did you know that this is actually a movie about how violence and media is, we kind of like violence, and it's like, it's just very surface level. And I think that is a lot of like a fan base around this movie that's like coming at it from a horror landscape of like, ooh, this super edgy, exciting horror film. And this is kind of like their first entry into like, the art house world maybe. So there are some pretty shitty takes, honestly.
Here's a question. What country are those people from?
Who could know?
Because I think they're participating in the art house experience. Like I think that's like a part of it is seeing the reactions to this film, right? I completely agree that there's very surface level takes, but the reason those exist is because this is a film that a lot of Americans saw because it's got, I guess not American, but like actors that they're familiar with. It's in English. Many people, the marketing, the selling points would be like, oh, it's so disturbing and stuff like that, right? Like, that's the reason why these conversations exist about this movie in particular. And we don't see as many about other movies that, could, equally have this same sort of intrigue or conversation. Like this one does exist in this kind of almost like clickbaity way.
Yeah.
Where it's like, ooh, remember when this was a thing that you probably saw was in theaters, Americans? Right?
Yeah, it's literally in a Watch Mojo list of
would be
horror movies where they could actually happen.
Yeah.
Like that was like the title of it and stuff like that. And these disturbing top 10 lists or what the most disturbing film you've ever seen type thing.
Yeah. Out of his entire filmography, if we're just going to go, based on how many ratings a film has on IMDb and just assume like that's how many people saw it over time. This one is almost number one. Number one is Amour because that got nominated for 5 Oscars or something. And it's more recent too. Like more people would have been using IMDb. But like out of his entire filmography, otherwise, like this one, those 2 movies are just way above all the other ones in terms of how many people have like logged ratings. Like this one, particularly a good amount of people saw.
I guess because that horror genre overlap. Like with it being in that kind of broader category than like a Piano Teacher or something like that.
Yeah, horror genre. Yeah. But also it's a shot-for-shot remake of a movie that already existed that has half as many ratings on IMDb, right? Like this is a part of it. He's also, making a commentary on Americans' willingness to see films that are not in the English language, right? Like the art piece, the extension of the art piece is the conversation we're having right now. The extension of the art piece is how the film has resonated with audiences, American and otherwise, over time, and how people talk about it and how many people have seen it. Like that's a part of the art piece. And I find that really cool. Like other films that have done that include like Synecdoche, New York for me,
Mm-hmm.
Like we're participating.
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting to compare this to Synecdoche, New York. I feel like I really love Synecdoche. I don't see much comparison between these films, but because I feel like Synecdoche has so many different things and is not very didactic about what it's saying. And this feels very like it has one thing on its mind and it's going to tell you over and over. So get ready. And it's more of like an experiential thing. Like you have to experience it to get the message, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been very harsh on this film, but that's okay. Because I guess it is very effective. But in a way that just really, upset me. I found it a bit too much. So, yeah.
That's fair enough.
That's my take. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
What would you give it out of 10? Are we doing ratings?
Yeah.
Can I bring one last thing up? Because I just want to know if you have an interpretation on it. I find the conversation that the evil dudes are having on the boat towards the end quite interesting. Where they're talking about like matter and antimatter, and they bring up, isn't fiction real? And have this argument about like fiction. And if you have any interpretation to that, if it's just supposed to be them bullshitting about something completely like irrelevant to what's happening at hand, and the like nonchalant nature of how they just kind of push the Naomi Watts or mother character just into the water. And
well, no, I think there is something there because this is a film where, Haneke has stated like the audience is a part of the movie. Like the audience is the accomplice essentially to the killers. So in a way, there is validity to the argument that like the film exists, but it's not like separate from reality, and that the characters in the film, like the way that we categorize or like compartmentalize ideas of like art and characters and narratives, like how does the brain process what the concept of like a person or a human being is, right? Like a character we see in a film, like that's a fiction, that's a lie. And so, yeah, like it's really interesting that he is blurring the lines of fiction and reality. The way that I kind of perceive this film and like the characters inflicting the horrors onto other characters in this film, it reminds me of like the Terrifier films, Like the other way around. When I was watching the Terrifier films, I was kind of thinking of like funny games.
The complete inverse.
Where like, oh, this character exists as an extension of the film. Like he's not a real character. Art the Clown is not like someone you would see in real. It's not supposed to be necessarily like, oh, this could really happen. He's toying at these characters and they're just his subjects. They exist within the film. He exists not within the film. Like he is in the film, but he's not. Mm-hmm. He's like an extension of the audience. He's an extension of the director. I don't know if Damien Leone had those ideas in his mind when he was making the Terrifier films, but that's kind of how I experience it, in part because of, watching funny games and, having my mind thinking of films and characters kind of in that way, like priming my mind to be open to that sort of interpretation. So yeah, like even though they do exist within the confines of what we can technically call a film, it's getting at a lot more than that. Like some of the characters clearly exist to be more like archetypical, if that's the way I say it, like they belong in the film, and then other characters are kind of like piercing through the film. Like almost remember those old like Looney Tunes shorts where you would see like sometimes they do hybrid live action and animation, and they do these sketches where you'd see the artist's hand in the film drawing, like in real time, the characters, and sometimes they would like fight with the pencil. That's kind of what's happening, right?
Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Damn. Yeah. That was a meaty discussion. I wasn't quite sure it was going to be that long, but damn. Super interesting.
Loved it. 8 out of 10, 97, 10 out of 10, 2007.
Wow, 10. Hot damn. Yeah, I'd probably be a bit lower. For 97, I would give it a 4-star with a like. Actually, I give them both the same rating, actually, except for Funny Games 2007, the US one, I would just be a lower 4-star. There's not much in it to me, but if I had to choose one to rewatch, to me it would be the 97 version for all the reasons that I kind of got into.
Wow, I'm surprised you're rating it so low. I thought you would rate it higher.
4-star?
Yeah.
Out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Out of 5. Oh. Sorry, yeah.
So 8
yeah, it's really confusing with you on that. No.
Okay.
That would be hilarious. Yeah.
And I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 now. I'm doing, I guess, 4 out of 10 for 97, 3 out of 10 for 2007.
Epic.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like when there's a range. That's cool.
Bit of a range here. Interesting conversation, though. I'm not mad for the recommendation. I think it was definitely an interesting. It was worthwhile.
I didn't mean to recommend something that you would hate.
You know what it is? It's honestly a big part of it is just the kid dying. It's just the kid being killed. Like that. That's just
the BBS
for me. That's just. I mean, I'm telling you that I was stressed with Fantastic Four.
yeah. I mean, when you were mentioning
you can imagine my state of mind watching this. And I had to watch some of this for real. Carrying my son strapped to me while he slept. So I'm watching this on my phone like
that's dark.
It's tough. It's tough, So yeah, that definitely influenced some of it. Maybe one day I'll have an argument with my son when he's a teenager and I'll put up Funny Games and I'll be like, it's not that
bad. Well, that was your problem. You watched it on your fucking telephone.
My fucking iPhone.
Mm-hmm. And I thought this was a great discussion. I would like to go through the two films just through my editing software and maybe talk about the differences between them. So I might do that sometime soon.
I would genuinely love a classic YMS video, breaking down shot by shot the differences between these movies, because I think that'd be so interesting, all the tiny little differences collectively. Yeah,
I might make something out of it. I don't know if I would call it a classic YMS style video. I'm still trying to deal with my health shit and time shit and all this other shit. So, but I would like, I do want to do something with this. And yeah, if you made it this far and haven't complained in the comments section or subreddit already, I do not think all Americans are stupid. I do not think I'm better than other people for my movie taste. Sometimes I say things that are a bit facetious and exaggerated because it's funny. Calm down. I love the director. And you're stupid and a baby. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's good to clear up because that was my impression the whole time. I was like, yeah, and also when you visited here, I was surprised. Like one of the first things you said was when you stepped in my house, you were like, "Ugh, smells like America." And I was like, damn,
disgusting.
Okay. Yeah.
Ew.
No, this was. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy now. I was upset watching the film, but it was a very good conversation.
Great.
I'm glad to have experienced it. Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I was just going to say that whenever you say BBS, for whatever reason, my brain immediately thinks you're saying BBL. So I'm like, what?
No, I'm talking about baby brain syndrome.
Yeah, I know. But for whatever reason, my brain is like, I don't have a Brazilian butt lift. So,
I mean, that's part of the syndrome is you can't understand things.
But I'm getting used to the lingo of, the BBS. It's really getting to me. So
yeah, I got BBS watching BVS.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That I hear my brain hears BVS whenever I hear BBS.
Yeah,
Snyder brain
syndrome.
I think it was during BVS that I rated all Star Wars films a 1 out of 10.
Damn, okay.
It was a strong reaction.
Will you ever revise your ratings to Star Wars? Do you think
that is my revised rating?
Oh, okay. So it's done.
Yeah. All right. Question time.
Question time.
Let's do some questions then from the Sardonicast community. Head over to the suggestion thread over on Sardonicast subreddit if you want to leave questions for future episodes. Just like I'm going to whip this one out because of what we just said. Felbanan _ YGSR. To Jake, as someone with BBS, the Funny Games duology must have been tough to sit through. Would you consider recommending something tailored for Adam and Alex's mental conditions, parentheses, crippling autism and ginger/British, as a spite wreck? If so, what would be some good picks? Why does everyone think I'm British outside of the cartoon? Like, you've seen me in real life, Adam. Would you call me Ginger?
You misspoke when you said that. You said, "Why does everybody call me British?" First of all, that was funny. Yeah, I was also kind of like, wait, why does everyone call me British?
Sorry, yeah, Ginger/British. That's a good misspeak.
Good line.
No, Ginger then. Yeah.
Probably because of your cartoon persona.
No, but I mean like because I've had people in my real life that as a human being and not like a cartoon say I'm Ginger. I had this conversation with someone just the other weekend.
Maybe they're colorblind.
Interesting.
It's like there's like subtle differences in shades. Sometimes people will confuse dirty blonde with red.
Yeah, but then I say like, no, it's not that I have anything. If I was Ginger, I would own it. But it's more just like I just want the truth out there. But anyway. Spite wrecks for the mental conditions.
Well,
being British.
Mental condition of being Ginger.
That's what they said.
I'm really thinking hard about this, and I gotta say, maybe for you, Alex, I would recommend the double feature of the John Huston Annie and the newer one with Kathy Bates.
That's probably a good spy pick for me.
That'd be great. And for Adam,
Kathy Bates,
isn't she in one of the Annies?
The Convention Wallace one?
No, no, it'd be a triple feature. I forgot about that one.
Okay. Wait, they made one since then?
There was one in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. 1999, Kathy Bates, Alan Cumming. Yeah. Okay.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I would recommend those 3 films. Oh, man, that'd be a good spy pick one day, actually.
Yeah, keep it in your back pocket.
Considering it.
You write that down. Write that down.
And for the autism, I would I don't know how to answer that question, but
go with your heart.
I would just
trust your gut. Say the first thing that comes to mind.
Have you guys reviewed the Sia movie, Music? I feel like you have.
Yeah, I did. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'd recommend that again. I don't know.
Just again. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There you go.
There's Unbreakable Boy recently. I checked that out. That's certainly something.
Oh, damn. Wait, did you actually watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, then maybe that's a better pick, actually. Good question. I mean, fantastic question.
Amazing question.
Yeah. More like those. Great stuff.
Yeah. Why do people think I'm British? Yeah, I don't get it. Okay. Let's do this one from Herbal Coast. In spirit with the recommendations, what director would you like to see remake their own movie, if any? Seeing as like Adam uploaded the Rings of Power video, Lord of the Rings has been on my mind, so I immediately went to
Funny. That's a good one.
The Hobbit. Peter Jackson, just make The Hobbit again, but as one movie.
Please. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Like retcon. Just be like, those ones didn't exist. Do what so many movie franchises have been doing that recently. Who started that? Halloween?
I'd be fine with it.
Or like, those ones didn't happen, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, that's it. That's my answer, too. Like, there's no better answer than that. Someone remaking their own movie, we know he has the capability of doing it, right? Like, we know he can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's not even a talent thing.
Yeah, I'd like him to remake the Beatles documentary and not make it 50 hours long so I can actually watch it.
Yeah.
Right. It's supposed to be good. I haven't seen it, but...
I know,
I would like, let's see if I can pull this up. I would like the YouTuber known as Corrupt Space YT with 157 subscribers and 1 video. I would like for them to remake their video titled Logan Paul's fake Japan video was a Hollywood controlled stunt, parentheses, timestamps in description. Because it's 10 hours long, and I'm 4.5 hours through this shit. Been listening kind of as a podcast, like driving and showering and stuff.
Wait. You don't have time to go see Fantastic Four.
That's like 2 Marvel movies.
I don't have time to see Fantastic Four in a theater while I'm showering and driving. Yes. I don't have time to watch a movie in a theater while I'm showering and driving. You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I can go. I can get 4.5 hours through something over the course of a week while I'm making food.
What was this YouTuber's name again?
Corrupt
what is the YouTuber's name?
YT. I would like for them to remake this video because it makes some very interesting arguments.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting supporting footage in this video. But a good amount of it is repetitive.
Corrupt YT.
A good amount of it. Going through this,
Expect better from him.
It could have been an hour and a half, is my assumption. But it's a very interesting video. But you can't watch it as entertainment.
I was trying to find it, but seems to be someone else called Corrupt YT.
Oh, here, I'll send you a link. So search Logan Paul's fake Japan video was a Hollywood controlled stunt. Search, that's the title.
Fake Logan Paul.
Here, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, it's so obscure.
Oh, wow. Ooh, maybe YouTube's suppressing it.
Yeah, definitely. Also, just having Logan Paul in the title is gonna have it way lower.
Yeah. Okay. How about the video code is EQFEBFGZX90.
I can't remember that many things.
Well, I sent it in Telegram. Just click the link. That was for the YouTube people.
My phone's on.
That's for our audience.
Oh, sorry. Okay. No, I'm on a...
That's a director I would like to see remake. Well, maybe somebody else can remake it, actually. Because they don't understand fucking pacing. They don't understand how to be succinct.
This is why.
You should watch it.
Jesus Christ. It
Cool.
really is 10 hours. Okay.
I love the fraud in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So one of the top comments said you could watch Interstellar 3 times and it would still take less time than watching this video.
Yeah. Yeah, and they respond to comments saying, like, no, I'm not making an ADHD version. Like, okay. I'm watching it. It wouldn't be ADHD to organize your information better. That wouldn't be ADHD.
Uh-huh.
Just to understand how to organize your information better. So yeah, maybe somebody else needs to remake that one.
Did you have one, Jake?
Oh, right. I forgot the question. What was the question?
Yeah.
I just got really into this.
A director like remaking a movie, like Fun and Games, like one of their own movies.
Yeah. I would like. I'd like Brian De Palma to remake Scarface, but make it more woke. I don't know. just spitballing here. I don't really know. I feel like De Palma. I'd like De Palma just to do a straight up remake of Vertigo, kind of like how Gus Van Sant did Psycho, and just kind of see what happens. I don't think De Palma's making movies anymore, though, which is a shame. How do you guys feel about Brian De Palma?
He's made some cool stuff.
Like him.
Yeah, like split diopter shots.
Hell yeah. Have you guys seen Body Heat? Body Double. Have you seen Body Double?
We haven't seen Body Double. I don't think Alex and I
Double.
have seen Scarface either, have we?
No.
Oh,
That's a De Palma we haven't seen somehow.
Somehow not. I feel like I've like osmosis seen it.
Mm-hmm. That's another remake Howard Hawks.
True.
Yeah. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I loved what's the movie called? Whatever.
Blowout.
Thank you. I was about to give up.
Yeah. Phantom of the Paradise is fun too.
Yeah, Blowout's awesome.
Blowout
Yeah.
is awesome, yeah.
Cool. Well, we got an interesting one here. The kind of subject came up earlier, so this is thematic. Mr. Hates This Website says, "Hi Sards, I tend to feel the same way as Adam about Star Wars. That's why I was absolutely shocked upon watching Andor recently. I find it particularly impressive how Tony Gilroy had to work within the framework of this boring children's franchise and somehow managed to create an incredibly original, character-driven political drama that feels like a completely self-contained work. Are there any other examples you can think of where the creator took a tired or unappealing IP and made something amazing out of it?" Parentheses, also, Alex, please bully Adam and Jake into watching Andor.
No.
I saw a post on your second channel, Jake, Woman Carrying Man.
Yeah, sounds like my wife wrote that comment.
Right. Is she trying to get you to watch it?
She's been trying to bully me into watching Andor. She's literally been putting posts on the second channel being like, you guys should tell Jake.
Oh, we found our alt.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, now I have to watch it.
Well, listen to her, man.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I know it's good. I just, I have trouble getting through shows these days. I don't know. Are there other franchises that
Tired or unappealing?
I haven't seen these movies, but maybe the Matt Reeves Planet of the Apes ones. I haven't seen them, but people talk about them like they're really, really good.
I'm not. I guess I can't say anything.
Don't get Adam started on those.
I can't say you won't enjoy them. I'm just gonna say I don't.
Uh-huh.
I would call them normie masterpieces.
Just like the Batman.
It's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any IPs, but yeah, I reckon Jake would like Andor, but there's just no point with Adam. I'm not even going to bully him into
No.
There's no point.
No, there's no point.
Got to pick your battles,
Thank
you know.
Yeah, he's got to watch Logan Paul's fake Japan video was a Hollywood controlled stunt. Timestamps in description.
All of Andor in that time.
Yeah, well, okay. Do you want me to watch Andor and listen to it and not look at it while I'm like in the shower and driving? Like, is that how you want me to watch it? Like,
Yes, I want you to watch Andor while you're driving.
Yes.
I can't do that.
I want you to
fucking awful.
I want you to get arrested for vehicular manslaughter while you're watching Andor.
Well, that's a bad fate.
That is a bad fate. That's like an Eddington-ass subplot.
Yeah. Yeah, if I get arrested for fucking vehicular manslaughter, I want it to be watching The Lion King.
2019.
Yeah, that would explain. I think they would they would not pursue charges.
They'd let you go.
They'd be like, clearly this
He was mentally disturbed.
Yeah, this is it wasn't in his control.
This is the mind of an unwell man.
Yeah, you could say like the Lego movie for the answer to the question.
Yeah.
You could even
Barbie is good.
You could say like fucking Naked Lunch, or Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
You could say fucking Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Like, there's a lot of things that we consider to be like masterful stories today that, for the longest time, people were struggling beforehand to figure out how to adapt these stories and make into successful films. But then somebody just figured it out, and now we just have these great pieces of art as reference points, and it just makes it seem so simple and easy now. Like, oh yeah, that's how it was supposed to be. Like, no, that's somebody's interpretation, and it just worked out really well.
Yep. I think movies have always been like a commercial art and require a lot of money to make. So it makes sense that we'd have masterpieces playing with superheroes. Because that's. Art, I think good art will find a way, whatever the subject, if you've got the skills and the something to say, then it'll come out, even in, like, I don't love superhero movies, but there are some damn good superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Should we do two more here?
I'm comfy with two more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do this one from Kai, the movie guy. Speaking of adaptations, for Jake, but anyone can answer. With the Blood Meridian movie being in pre-production by the same director as the Garbage Road adaptation, how do you think the film will turn out? And who would you pick to direct it if you could choose? I don't know if it's like an active, like, this is funded development, or if it's more like a concept script phase or whatever. Was the Road adaptation that garbage? I remember it being, like, fine.
Yeah, I think people generally like it, but
I didn't see it.
I never read the book.
Garbage seems a bit strong.
Yeah.
I've read the book and seen the film, but it's been a while, to be fair.
I think it was kind of considered serviceable. Like, from what I understand, people are like, yeah, it was fine, but it's like the director isn't someone who's like, I don't know, an auteur with a huge vision. And, I think this is a super interesting thing because there have been directors over time. I think most notably Ridley Scott, who really wanted to do an adaptation of Blood Meridian. I don't know if Ridley Scott is the right director for that project, but
no.
I don't think
no. For me, I think that the Coen brothers, since they did No Country for Old Men, I think they would do an amazing Blood Meridian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, that is tough. I did mention like ages ago that I started reading it. But then it, like the book like disappeared, right?
Physically?
It's like, yeah, like I can't find it anywhere. So I took that as like a message, as like, well, I guess like fate doesn't want me to read it.
It does that. It's,
It's got a mind of its own, I guess.
That's a weird plot twist.
Well, this does sound a little bit like the student being like, my homework, it's gone. Right. I started reading a book, guys. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, I read like one page and was like,
it vanished.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I'll tune back in when it mysteriously shows up again.
Do an audiobook, and you can read in the shower.
Yeah, true.
And driving.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
Guys, I'm just always in the shower and driving.
That's when you're not streaming.
I'm always showering and I'm always driving.
Could be worse.
Yeah,
we got one more. This is an unusual one, but I felt like I had to read it because of how unusual it is. Bear with me.
Way to go.
Minimum Plenty 6895. I want to start my question by saying, damn, some of the questions my fellow listeners submit seem difficult. I've listened to the cast since day one, and I can't count how many times the same variation of questions are asked. Examples like, does the afterlife exist? And if so, are there movies there? Are they good movies? Or I am afraid of AI. Can you guys please explain it to me? So that instead of feeling fear, I feel angry at Adam. These esoteric and existential questions are big pills to swallow. We must remember that our hosts live stressful lives and are normal people. We should try to submit more uplifting and positive questions. This community needs to rise above the stereotype of the weird, chronically online cinephile. On to my question. I recently watched one of my favorite films, 1981's Possession. In it, Isabelle Adjani's character freaks out inside an empty subway station. She begins convulsing and screaming as black goo spills out of her body onto the cold tile floor. This scene is a visual representation of her character losing faith and hope in God, in herself, and in those she loves most. She experiences the ruination of her soul and goes insane. It is a sickening display of pure agony. With that context, what animal do you guys think is cutest? Bunnies, kittens, or sea otters?
That was a great question. Thank you.
That's a good one. Good job.
Yeah.
Sorry, bunnies, what or sea otters?
Bunnies, kittens, or sea otters?
On the cute factor. Kittens.
I'm going to say sea otters. They're cute. They're like proto-seals.
Yeah, I'm going to go with sea otters. Bunnies,
Whoa.
I've had first-hand experience with bunnies. They're psychotic. They're demonic. they're frightening. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I enjoy, I like that you guys have been taking these questions for years, and, you'll get questions like, does God exist? And you guys are like, well, I don't know. And, like you guys are really, it just doesn't faze you. Whereas, I think for me, some of these questions are a bit unwieldy.
You can just stop the sentence there. Just a bit.
I mean, yeah, you're not required to answer any that we do. So.
Yeah, you can veto.
But I like it. I enjoy that. I enjoy that people come to you guys with questions like they are speaking to a deity or like a demigod who can commune with the dark forces. I don't know, but this was a nice, light little question. So.
Thank you,
viewer.
Yeah.
Awesome
question.
All right, I think it's your recommendation, Jake.
Damn.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah. Are you going to spite, or what are you going to do here?
Okay, so after watching Funny Games, I did have a strong desire to make Adam suffer specifically. And I talked to Nadia about it, what would be a good thing. And she said, well, has he seen Star Wars? And I said, yes, but I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I'm wavering. I'm having a kind of a moral crisis here of what should I do?
Sure.
So I'm going to throw out some titles here.
Okay. Oh, we pick?
Because no. But I want your input. I assume both of you have seen a film called Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't think you have, Adam, if I had to guess.
Interesting. Interesting.
You're lucky I'm an honest person. I could have just pretended.
Next question. I couldn't find it. I don't believe you guys have reviewed Titanic on this channel.
No, we have not.
You've seen Titanic. You've seen Titanic?
A long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
And I would be
interesting.
Very much interested in a discussion on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so would I.
Okay.
Even if I might not fully enjoy the experience, I don't know.
Okay. And have either of you seen the James Cameron movie, The Abyss?
No.
Yes.
Oh. Last question before I make my announcement. You guys have neither seen Sorcerer, have you?
No.
I don't.
William Friedkin.
No, I have not.
Sorcerer.
I have not. It's on my list.
Okay. Let's watch Titanic.
All right.
Yeah. Nice.
Epic.
Avatar trailer dropped. Titanic's coming out. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. This will be fun.
I'm being nice.
It might be shit.
Adam, I could hear the fear in your voice when I said Thor: Love and Thunder, and now I have a better sense of what to do if I want to be cruel.
It was the only film out of all the ones you mentioned that I both hadn't seen and wasn't on my watch list.
Nice.
It was the only one I would not be watching otherwise.
You guys don't know how hard it is to find good Spite recommendations for two people who have made careers out of talking about shitty movies. It is so hard.
Yeah. Well,
I'm doing hours of research. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Pretty creative, yeah.
We got Titanic. Let's do it.
I think this will be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled for Titanic, 1997, James Cameron. Watch it before the next episode comes out.
Same year as Funny Games. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These episodes come out every...
Quite different.
Pre 9/11. These episodes come out every 2 weeks. You can listen to them early by going to sardonicast.com, sign up for premium, or patreon.com/sardonicast, or click the button below, join, do the members thing. You can listen to them early and ad-free, no ads. So for sure, there will be a poll happening on the Patreon, for sure, for the movie suggestion things for episode 200, where you get to decide the movies we watch. Patreon for sure. I'll have to see. There might be a way to do that on the members thing, and then on the website, I would have no idea. We might have to ask. I don't know if that's possible or not. It might be a huge.
Oh yeah, unless you did two separate votes and combined them.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm just throwing out ideas. We got time.
Okay.
We got time to figure it out. But Patreon for sure. The rest are not guaranteed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Patreon for sure. That's the easiest thing to do. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Have a funny game.
Have a Titanic.
Have a game that's funny.
Have a Titanic. It's like a death wish. That's an ominous thing to say. That's like saying have a 9/11, Jake.
Have an Ocean Gate.
Yeah.
Would that be so wrong?
Why don't you go? Wow. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.